Right, so ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa has admitted that the party hasn't always done what it's been mandated to. He was speaking at the ANC's manifesto launch yesterday. The party is preparing for the November polls. Ramaphosa says the party will do better, including creating more jobs. Let's speak to political analyst Xolani Dube and reflect on that election manifesto and what's been happening in this election season. Xolani, thank you for making time. No surprises really here, right, from the ANC manifesto, just acknowledging the past mistakes, recognizing their achievements and promising to do better. What are your reflections?
Clement, let's start from the beginning. What you are referring to as the ANC, I don't think that is the ANC of Thomas Mapikela, of Khubusani, of Luthuli, and of and Mandela and Tambo. I think what was happening there, we were witnessing a congregation of thugs, of scoundrels, of gangsters, of hyenas, of accused number one when it comes to thieving in South Africa, of Imigodoi. If I can use the name, the labels that those people who are there are being labeled by their leaders. And so there is nothing that you can expect from such kind of a congregation, except it was another way of devising means and ways on how to steal from us, the poor.
So why then are they still in power then, Xolani, if, as you say, people are describing them in that manner, as thieves, as thugs, as hyenas? They are now launching a manifesto hoping that South Africans are going to give them another chance to govern. They probably will. Why do you think they still have a hold and they're still at the union buildings, despite how you are reflecting now are the feelings of many of their supporters?
Look, all those labels are not from South Africans, ordinary South Africans, but those labels are from the leaders of the ANC who were washing hands regarding the character and the rot that is entrenched in the organization. But coming to your question, look, I think what is telling, what keeps them to be in power. Remember when Cyril Ramaphosa was here in KwaZulu-Natal, he told the world that those who have property in South Africa stood up and defended themselves against those who have nothing. And so from the Marxist perspective and in relation to the history of South Africa, you know who are dispossessed in this country are the South African natives. And you know people who were killed or were massacred in Phoenix or in KZN are the people of South Africa, the South African natives. And so it's clear that the ANC's interest here is not for the South African natives, but is to protect the interest of the colonizers, of those who dispossess and dehumanize the South African natives. And so that is their role. And you know it very well. When it comes to power relations, those who've got means of production are the ones who dictate what is supposed to happen in the plantation. So
how do you think they're going to be punished?
Look, they are not going to be punished as long as they fulfill the script of their master, And so you know it very well, Clement, that you can vote, your vote means nothing, because if we go to the principles of democracy, why the majority of South Africans are still poor, especially the South African natives, and why only the few are still rich. And so it shows that you vote or you don't vote. Your vote, it means nothing, because those who got means of productions are the ones who dictate what is supposed to happen in this plantation. And so the ANC is going to be in power as long as it's still relevant and as long as it still fulfills the native administrative role in this country.
But the masters are not the ones that are voting, Xolani. It's the ordinary South Africans. It's you and I who go to the polls. So that's the most powerful way we can exercise our power, our happiness or unhappiness with any governing party. So our votes do mean something, because if people are unhappy about the ANC, if they want those so-called colonial masters to be out of the way and bring in another political party, way to do that is to go to the polls and vote the organization out. So what I'm saying is the votes do mean a lot. That's the way we exercise our power as citizens in this country.
Look, Clement, if really the power is in voting, why do we still have such number of taxis moving from township to urban areas? Why even today the issue of land expropriation and redefining the skewed distribution of South African wealth is still not being achieved? And so it clearly shows that our vote, it means nothing, because if our vote got power, we're not going to talk about land. We're not going to be talking about the imbalances of apartheid and colonialism 27 years post-apartheid.
It's the failures, though, of the governing party, is it not? So the fact that they have not been able to do enough in terms of land reform, the fact that the economy is not as inclusive as they've always been promising it would be, and the other failures that you would identify is not necessarily because the vote means nothing. It's because, in fact, it shows how the vote means something, that those who continue to vote for the political party that they're still not happy about, that party will continue to govern, and if it continues to govern, the status quo remains. But if people exercise that power and say, I'm voting for this new political party to come in, that changes things, does it not?
At least you agree with me now, Clement, that ANC has betrayed the South African natives, because post 27 years was still in chains of colonialism and apartheid. But the fact of the matter is, the betrayal was in 1994, when the organization that we entrusted with our hope simply embraced these evil systems of apartheid and colonialism. And so you and I think now we agree that the South Africans, especially the natives, must simply dismantle this evil temple that was created in 1994. We need new systems and structures that will accommodate especially the majority of South Africa, of which is the South African natives. And so that is the only way. The only way is to dismantle the colonialism and apartheid systems and structures. And then that's why we can talk about democracy and fairness. But for now, when we have massacres like Kolobeni and in Phoenix and Marikana and Life Esidimeni, is clearly indication that South African natives are in inferno. We are still dehumanized through these systems that are not meant for us.
All right. Political analyst Xolani Dube, I really appreciate your time on The Lead this afternoon. And that's